More than 2,000 years ago, the Greek philosopher Plato described a powerful island civilization beyond the known world. He called it Atlantis, a place of magnificent temples, advanced engineering, and unimaginable wealth. According to Plato, Atlantis lay beyond the Pillars of Heracles, the ancient name for the entrance to the Atlantic Ocean. The island was said to be larger than Libya and Asia Minor combined. At the center of Atlantis stood a spectacular capital built in concentric circles. Rings of land and water surrounded a royal palace, connected by bridges, canals, and massive stone walls. The city was filled with shining temples, busy harbors, and impressive buildings. Gold, silver, copper, and a mysterious metal called orichalcum decorated the heart of the island. Atlantis was not simply a beautiful city. Plato described it as the center of a powerful empire whose rulers controlled large territories and commanded a vast military force. But over time, the Atlanteans changed. Their wisdom faded, their ambition grew, and their society became driven by power, wealth, and conquest. The rulers of Atlantis eventually turned their attention toward the eastern Mediterranean. They attempted to expand their empire and bring other nations under their control. Only ancient Athens was said to have resisted them. Plato portrayed the Athenians as disciplined, courageous, and morally superior to the powerful Atlantean Empire. Then catastrophe struck. In a single terrible day and night, violent earthquakes and floods destroyed Atlantis. The great city disappeared beneath the waves. Its armies, temples, palaces, and people were swallowed by the ocean, leaving no visible trace behind. Plato wrote about Atlantis around 360 BC in two dialogues called Timaeus and Critias. He claimed the story had reached Greece through the Athenian statesman Solon. According to Plato, Egyptian priests had told Solon about events that had happened 9,000 years earlier. The story was then supposedly passed down through generations before Plato recorded it. But there is a major problem. No earlier Greek or Egyptian source has ever been found that clearly describes Atlantis. This has led many historians to believe that Plato invented the story. Atlantis may have been a philosophical lesson rather than a report of a real civilization. Plato often used imaginary stories to explore ideas about politics, morality, and human nature. Atlantis could have represented a society destroyed by its own greed and arrogance. Yet some details in the story seem surprisingly realistic. The circular harbor, the complex canals, the earthquakes, and the sudden destruction resemble events that could have occurred in the ancient world. One possible inspiration is the Minoan civilization on the island of Crete. The Minoans built impressive palaces, traded across the Mediterranean, and developed one of Europe's earliest advanced cultures. Around 1600 BC, the volcanic island of Thera, now called Santorini, experienced one of the most powerful eruptions in recorded history. The explosion buried settlements beneath ash and triggered destructive waves across the region. The Minoan settlement of Akrotiri was preserved beneath volcanic material. Its multi-story buildings, wall paintings, streets, and drainage systems revealed a sophisticated Bronze Age city. Could memories of this disaster have survived for centuries? Over generations, the destruction of a wealthy island culture may have grown into the legend of Atlantis. However, Santorini does not fit every part of Plato's description. It lies inside the Mediterranean, not beyond the Pillars of Heracles, and the eruption happened far more recently than Plato claimed. Other researchers have searched for Atlantis near the coast of Spain. Ancient wetlands around the Gulf of Cadiz have been examined for signs of circular structures and settlements destroyed by tsunamis. Some theories place Atlantis in the Azores, the Canary Islands, or even beneath the Atlantic Ocean. Others connect it with North Africa, the Black Sea, Antarctica, or the Caribbean. But none of these locations has produced evidence of Plato's lost empire. Natural formations, underwater rocks, and ancient ruins are often presented as discoveries, yet they rarely survive scientific examination. Modern geology also creates serious difficulties. There is no evidence that a continent-sized island suddenly sank into the Atlantic Ocean during the period described by Plato. The ocean floor changes over millions of years, not in a single night. Entire continents do not simply disappear beneath the waves without leaving enormous geological traces. Still, real cities have been lost to the sea. Earthquakes, rising water, landslides, and tsunamis have destroyed coastal settlements throughout history. The ancient Egyptian city of Thonis Heracleion remained underwater for centuries before archaeologists explored its temples and statues. The Roman city of Baiae also lies partly beneath the sea because the land slowly sank. These discoveries show that underwater ruins are not fantasy. A real settlement may have contributed to the Atlantis legend, even if Plato's enormous empire never existed exactly as described. Atlantis has survived because it represents more than a missing island. It is a warning about civilizations that become powerful, wealthy, and convinced of their own superiority. The story also speaks to our fascination with lost knowledge. We want to believe that beneath the ocean, hidden ruins may still be waiting to change everything we know about the past. Perhaps Atlantis was a real place transformed by memory. Perhaps it combined several ancient disasters into one unforgettable story. Or perhaps Plato created Atlantis entirely from imagination. In that case, the greatest mystery is not where the island disappeared, but why the story still feels so believable. As long as unexplored regions remain beneath the sea, Atlantis will continue to inspire expeditions, theories, and dreams. The ocean still hides countless traces of human history. Do you think Atlantis was a real civilization, or was it Plato's greatest philosophical invention? Share your theory, subscribe to Wonder Atlas World, and join us as we explore the mysteries of history, nature, and science. Until the next wonder.